All right, we are recording. Wonderful. So, I guess this is for Tiffany's benefit in case she has a brain fart, but we are here with Mr. John and Mr. Ron, and we're going to be discussing the possible augmentations to the vending options at the pool this year. So, if I remember last year correctly, we were discussing possibly increasing things, and then COVID came and kind of torpedoed our, like everyone else's, plans.
Right.
From what I remember at the time, and from what this little handout of risk classification gave me, is we want to stay around something called risk level 1, where there are no major concerns outside of, appropriate temperature storage and things like that. An idea that was brought up, and either of you feel free to interrupt or tell me at any time if I'm misremembering or the Tiffany or I have the wrong idea, but it appears that, let me just get my iPad here. All right, so the things that Tiffany and I discussed the other day was possibly things that could be microwaved, like she mentioned popcorn, or the soft pretzels, or nachos with like cheese packs, and things along that nature, like the big bagged pickles, like stuff like that, the individually wrapped ones. Yeah. And the reason that she, and once she explained it, I wanted to stick along this level would be, so that we wouldn't incur the wrath of, the Franklin County Health Department or the city of Columbus, doing more preparation heavy foods. So I guess with you gentlemen, what are your thoughts on adding, like, a microwave and increasing those options? Or what would be some things that, Tiffany and I aren't there all the time? What would be some things that we need to consider?
Yeah, Ron, I'd like to hear from you. You know what works at pools. My big thing is let's stay away from popcorn because that's a mess at the pools, getting in the pool and the filter. Anything else I'd really be open to. So what do you think, Ron?
Well, I think you have two options. You got, you can stay frozen, like with the ice cream machine. We already have an ice cream machine there, and we could add a second unit because you have plenty of power in there. So we could go ice cream, and then you could offer like Hot Pockets, burritos, any microwavable food with a name brand that you see, I could put in that machine. The other option is I have food machines. They're the carousel food machines.
Yeah, I know you're talking. The hospital I work at has a few with like sandwiches and salads and stuff.
Yeah, the difference with those is on an ice cream machine, I get like a 6-month date on that stuff because it's frozen. It's at a deeper freeze. And on a food machine, you got 7 days. But the way I go to the pool, we might be there 2 times, 3 times a week, depending on the weather. So the 7-day date, we'll use a tagger and we can tag that food. So we'll know what's good and what's not good. We're there enough.
Ron, would you say that the carousel type fresher food, does that sell better?
Here's the problem with the frozen food. The good news is it's only a 3-month season, so people won't get bored. But like in your work environment, if you put, the frozen food in the ice cream machine because you have a place card that tells you what's in the machine, people get old and it gets boring and the sales go down. Now, ice cream's not that way in the summer because it's a really quick sale. So it might not be like that for a 3-month period because it's new and you got different people coming to the pool. There are some repeat customers, but not as many in a regular business environment.
My thought would be, and I would probably myself eat either one of it, but I would assume, and tell me if I'm wrong or not, I would assume that the carousel, the fresher looking stuff, is more visually appealing, and my guess would be it would sell better. Do you find that to be true?
I would think. I honestly have never put one at a pool. I got a couple other pools like you guys that don't offer no concessions, and they're thinking about new ideas too. And I knew you guys have the room and the power. That's kind of why I'm thinking I got 5 machines at the shop, so we could give it a shot.
Years ago, we did that, and many years ago, before either one of you guys were involved in the pool, and it was successful. And I'm just thinking, to go in and look at an ice cream machine with a frozen burrito, maybe some kids would buy it, but I think like adults and stuff, they would be more apt to buy the fresher looking stuff. That's something that's, visually appealing to them, that they can see right there, and, throw in the microwave real quick. And that's my thought.
Well, and there's a new product line that just came out. It just hit the stands, and it's a 30-day. It comes frozen, but it's like wedges and sandwiches, and they have a really nice lineup actually, and the prices are not too bad. But once you unthaw it from a freezer, it has a 30-day shelf life, and it goes in those food machines, the carousel machine.
Okay.
And they actually look better than some of the stuff I've seen prepared, like prepared food.
Yeah, I would, my vote or my thought is I would like to see us try that. And when you're saying cost, I'm telling you, like from these kids and stuff, it's amazing compared to when I was a kid and I went to the same pool. My mom would give us a quarter. I mean, they come with 20s and everything. So I don't think cost, if we're talking, minimal up cost on the carousel, I don't think that's a big deal at all. These kids spend money at that pool.
Yeah. Well, and I could even, that machine, because of the higher priced items, I could even install a credit card reader on it.
Wow.
So
that wouldn't hurt at all. A question that I have, I don't mean to interrupt, John, were you?
Fine.
Okay. A question that I have about the machine like that is, let's say the carousel can be, filled up with like, half of the stuff that, your provider or your distributor makes. Is there any option for Minerva Park to add things like, we were thinking, buying candy bars or bags of chips or, like those, again, apparently Mayor Hughes has some affinity for those big pickles or, things like that.
Right.
Well, is that a possibility that we could really
a
lot of options?
Yeah, the big pickles, actually you can sell the pickles in a regular machine. Like we could put those in our chip machine because they are shelf stable. Those pickles got so much sodium, they don't have to be refrigerated.
They're in vinegar and they're made of salt. So yeah, they're not
right. But you could put that in there, and that's already predated, so that's not a problem at all.
So we would have a lot of options for a machine, for a carousel machine. Then I really think that I think Mayor Tiffany will be happy with that, and I know I am as well, especially if
the carousel machine is one of those where there's even salads you can purchase with dates on them. I could even put a salad or two in there as long as it's, I just watch the date. It's super simple. And then
I like that idea because, and Dave might not be aware of this, but he has a pretty big chip machine there with a lot of choices, and a candy machine with a lot of choices. So the salads and all that other stuff, anything in addition to the chips and candy that we already have would be awesome. The more product,
Mm-hmm. So what about, I think that, I would be confident in assuming that we'll probably end up moving to a carousel in addition. Just from everything I hear, where do we stand on the concept of microwavable stuff, like, the soft pretzels and cheese or the nachos and cheese and things like that? Is that would John see any issues with that? Would Ron see any issues or logistical problems stocking that?
No, that actually could be put in the carousel machine. Because there's like 9 or 10 options, and then it goes like you can have, I think it's up to 12 or 15 of each item because it's the way you slot the machine to make the triangles. So when it comes around to the front, that it's all about that, but it can hold a ton of product. So there could be like pretzels on one row, you know, there could be a nacho and a cheese cup on the next row. I just would have to find what you need is pre-packed stuff. It can't be anything that we're preparing because you have to have a 3-compartment sink. You got to have a food license to do all that. So anything that's pre-packed and I can buy through a distributor, it'll automatically come in a package. There's nothing we've done but put it in the machine. So it's legal.
All that stuff available.
Yeah. Yeah. The pretzels you can get, the cheese cups we can like put with the pretzel, but you're giving it a one price. So the minute you open that door, you can receive everything that's in the door behind the carousel.
You at the hospital I work at, I've gotten quick lunches myself from them, so I know they're get the job done.
Yeah, so they have bagged pretzels actually that GFS sells that we could just put that pretzel in there with the cheese cup and just give them one price and make it easy.
And Rob,
and then a couple.
When you talked about the 3, of course, we had a full concession one time. We did the 3 sink, all that, blah, blah, blah. But with the additions that David and I are talking about today, that doesn't change anything with us as far as having to do permits or anything like that, correct?
No. Here's the thing. You can, to make it so they're not on your back, I could tell, you know, Franklin County, hey, I'm going to have a food machine at Minerva. They'll charge me my $45. They'll come out, look at the food machine, and everything will be fine.
Right.
Same thing with the ice cream, because where we're showing that, I'll just show them the ice cream also. Normally, on a yearly basis, you're supposed to have the ice cream that's inspected, like the ones at the school, John.
Right.
But because the pools are in there for only 3 months, I've never messed with it. But with the food, that's a different story. And if they come and look at the pool and they see a concession stand food machine, they're going to want to see the license. But it's so easy. I can just reach out to the lady that I contact, and you know, she'll come out, look at it, give us the approval, and we can hang the license on the machine.
Okay. So bottom line for David to take back to the mayor too, no additional cost for us per se. Correct?
No, not at all. No, it's just a $45 fee, and I'll eat that, of course.
And David, or I'm sorry, Ron, as far as the new, would you be putting like a commercial grade type microwave in there?
I can, yeah. Yeah, I prefer those commercial ones. They're a little more, but I have them. I can get it because the digital reader, it'll run better and it's more powerful. The ones you get from Walmart ain't going to heat it as quick.
Right. And I'm all for this because I do think we need to add, you know, something additional. And I think it'll definitely be profitable for Ron and for us. You know, a couple of years ago, I had a microwave in there just for people's, you know, benefit if they wanted to put a sandwich or something in there. My problem with it was that the kids put everything in there. Burn everything, bugs, everything. But, you know, that's just something we just have to keep an eye on. And I'm willing to do that, you know, to add to our, you know, revenue and to our, you know, availability and stuff for the people. And I can't speak, I'm sure David would agree with me. My thought was, Ron, we don't, you know, as far as that license, if we're doing that, if it's a $45 cost, and again, I can't say this, my suggestion would be, we could pay that cost. We don't expect you to pay it if we're serving the food.
No, that's a part of the thing. That's a part of the courts. Because if we had a concession stand there, we'd have a higher fee than that. So,
I mean, if there are, I mean, that's very, I totally, you know, hear and see where we're coming from on that. If we have, you know, issues on, you know, funding this sort of thing, then I don't feel authorized without the full consent of council or input from the mayor to say who's paying for what. So I would recommend we circle back with her. But I mean, for $45, I don't think that's going to break anyone's bank. We just
not at all.
Yeah, and Ron, one other question I would have too is, you're very aware of our concession, and like you said, we definitely do have the power availability. Would you, you know, we've done a lot in the last year or two with the bathrooms, and Tony has been awesome as far as that goes. What would you ideally, like my suggestion would be, I would love to rip that carpet out of the concession, put some sort of flooring in there, some non-stick flooring for wet feet, paint it, just make it a little bit more visually appealing. What would you suggest? Do you have any suggestions?
Some of the pools, they'll do that flooring. Like some of them will keep it concrete and just paint it. But what they do for the slip issue is they'll lay down those rubber mats, but it becomes a hassle to clean them.
Yes. We used to use those in the bathroom, and you're right. They become their own enemy in some ways. Yeah, it sounds great, but they get dirty, they get smelly. So I'm thinking
Old over, I bet.
Yeah, even if we painted with sand or something too, something to, more of a non-stick type surface.
Yeah, I mean, the machines will sit on anything. I mean, it's really no problem.
Do a
Are
linoleum
you going to take out that ceiling in there?
The ceiling, it is taken out. We used to have that drop ceiling with
Right.
I call them asbestos pillows, and I think that's all been taken out. We didn't use because those got all torn up. So the ceiling would still be high. We could always paint that ceiling too.
Well, the reason I'm asking is if you do a different floor and it doesn't make it to where I can push the machines, because we don't want to mess anything up that you improve. But if that ceiling's out, then my dollies will go in and I can actually roll the machines to position. That's all.
Okay.
Before I used to hit it, because it was dropped down.
Exactly. And the ceiling is out, Ron, so that would work out great.
Yeah. So then you could put whatever flooring you wanted in there for safety wise, the machines to be able to just roll across to be dropped.
Okay.
Okay. So we can get us a microwave. We can get the rotating carousel. We can get, that's wonderful. That was another thing that, I wanted to bring up and ask about is there going to be any need this year if we get the additional, equipment and supplies? Is there going to be any additional need to, rearrange or move things around, and what logistical issues that would cause? That doesn't sound like there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of issues at all. So that's wonderful.
No, I like to keep, if John doesn't mind, I like to keep the candy machine over where it is, John.
Yes. That's worked
and
out
then
fine.
that would be the space for the carousel machine could go where the candy was, and you'd still have room to put the table for the microwave we bring in.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing I want to do, as in any role that I have, is micromanage you guys. I mean, you're the ones who are there. You're the ones who know it better than I do. I'm just here to be as much of a liaison and resource that I possibly can. So if you say there's no issue with the current locations and nothing's going to need majorly modified, I believe you. That is fantastic.
Yeah, and I would say too, excuse me, as long as we're all here, that throughout the years we've had so many different vendors, but I would commend Ron, because if we have a problem, I don't care if it's a Saturday, Sunday night, we call him, he's out. If I call him and say, hey, it's hot, we're getting low, he's out. Ron and his team are awesome about taking care of us.
Excellent. That it's fantastic when you have good, reliable members of your team.
Well, and I appreciate you guys. I don't know. I can't remember how long we've been doing it, but me and my family run the business, so we're very appreciative of you guys. So.
Yeah. I mean, we're all a team. We're all on the same team. It's good. And again, it's just wonderful to hear that there's not any major issues projected. Madam Mayor will be very happy about that. So we can, this is something that we were discussing ourselves. So the idea or the concept of stocking stuff to sell on our own to increase variety, I'm assuming that they would have to be stored and sold and, ledgered separately so that nothing gets confused, with your numbers and expenses and profits. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
We decided to, augment on our own with like other, like, let's say there's something that we add on that, just for whatever reason isn't available with your vendors. We could add that on and then we just track it separately, I would assume, and that wouldn't cause any problems.
Oh, no. I mean, I've had people do like food truck nights, and they'll have a food truck come up out front, and that's between you and them. I mean, that's all they are a separate, entity for me. So that's whatever you guys decide to do.
Cool.
As far as, and
I've never seen our personal, I've never seen if there's like a contract or, what it is we've done, because, this is the first year that I'm at. Well, it's not the first year I'm on council anymore. It's the first year where we're actually getting to do this reasonably normally. Is there like a contract with like exclusivity, or like how does that are allowed?
Allowed? It's it's a 30, the basic contract hasn't actually been signed in a couple of years. It was more when Lynn was there. So I don't even know when the last one was actually signed. It's been a little while.
It doesn't sound like we've had any glaring issues then.
Right. The big thing is it's more what you guys are thinking. I don't know if it's that maybe you want a grill out night where people can get fresh food. It's kind of just what you want, because this is all pre-prepared. Here it is. It's there all the time. So you guys have to discuss that.
David, okay. I'm not sure. Maybe Ron's is confused. I'm a little confused here. We're not talking about augmenting items in his machine, are we?
No.
Okay.
No. I figured that we'd have to have our own, our own like freezer or whatever.
You're thinking of like maybe have like a night where you sell something special and you guys sell it yourselves.
Yeah, or we just keep like our own cooler of stuff that, for whatever reason can't be supplied.
Yeah, my only thought on that would be that, if it can go in the machine, it's obviously better. Ron works miracles getting things. And I'll tell you from some past experience when we've had our own freezer and done ice cream and stuff like that, obviously we're not Fort Knox. And when that becomes known that that's out there, we've had kids get into the pool at night, steal the stuff like that. So I feel a lot more secure.
I'll call you. I love you.
Locked in his machine, rather than getting in a situation where on a regular basis, hey, they know the pool sells this out of their freezer, and then kids are kids. Then at night you have kids busting into a freezer and stuff like that. We also then run the risk when we had freezers and sold product of power going out and losing a lot of product. So my personal thought on that is, unless we're doing some sort of special event type thing, that we let, Ron covers the product, Ron's responsible for the product then, and we kind of minimize the opportunity for kids busting in our pool or losing product through other means too.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So we could do stuff, individually on special occasions if we chose to, but not.
Right.
It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have our own system on the side as well. Okay.
It'd be even awesome sometime if we knew, hey, we did this years ago too, and this wouldn't interfere with Ron's too much. We knew, hey, we were having a really hot Saturday, and somebody wanted to come from the pool, or the council or something, grill out hot dogs and sell them. It's a special event. Or sometimes we had called Donato's and we knew it was going to be a hot day, and we ordered 8 pizza cut in triangles and sold those. And those, that's a one and done. We're done with the product. It's gone. There's no lure for somebody to bust into our freezer or anything.
Okay.
Well, and that too, because it's a special event, you would be more apt not to have to worry about any health license. If you're just like, hey, we're having a cookout, here's a plate, then you're done and out.
We're done by the time Franklin County hears about it.
Right. Because
if we store product and just say somebody gets sick or something, then they're like, hey, did you guys have a license to sell that stuff?
Right. Well,
Well,
I say I got a couple pools that do like a family night once a month. So they'll do 3 events. They'll have the DJ, they'll do the family event, and then they give you a price like, hey, if you want a hot dog, a slice of pizza, and a bag of chips, it's like X amount. It's
Wow.
just an event. They're not doing anything else, but people like it because it's exciting, it's different. You know, it gives them the feel of the old concession stand, but it's not really a concession stand, so you don't have to keep a license.
Yeah, there's nothing like
Oh.
burgers
Okay,
on
yeah.
grill for special events. So
Yeah, that was just something that, we were musing about the last time her and I got together. I figured it'd be something along those lines, and everything you guys say makes perfect sense from the perspective of people who were, there a much greater portion of their of their time than I am. I'll help, last summer I helped get it set up a little bit, but
right.
that was about the extent of it. So you guys know the business, and I trust you guys. So it sounds like we've got some really good options, and it sounds like we're going to have hopefully a lot of I don't want to say improvements, because that would possibly imply they weren't doing well before, but
Additions.
yes, additions. There we go.
Hey,
We're
Ron,
going to have a lot of additions, and that's going to be fantastic, I'd say.
Ron, obviously David will take this back to the mayor and the council and stuff. Do you have, on your end, if they decide to go with everything, do you have like a date or something in mind where you would like to know what they've decided so you can plan accordingly?
Yeah, I mean, just as soon as you guys know. I mean, we're still months out before pool season hits, but I want to make sure that we get that carousel machine up and running and that everything would be good. Or if you wanted a second ice cream, that we won't go through it and make sure that it's up to run. I would say try to give me a month or 2 notice at least, so we can make sure that it's ready.
And David,
Okay, so a month or 2's notice, yeah.
David, would you like maybe Ron, if he could present to us at some point, Ron, your convenience, the list of possible items and what your suggested cost would be on them, so that they have something to work with?
Yeah, I can research that line better I was telling you about, because it just came out and I got some friends that are using it. I'll find out the products and the price points and things like that to let you guys know.
And I'm open to anything, just keep me away from that popcorn.
Okay.
I know.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Tiffany and I, we didn't really, I guess, consider it from the factor of, filters and mechanics, but yeah, popcorn does get everywhere, and I could definitely see how that would be an issue.
It does. It wreaks havoc in the pool. It really does.
Well, then in that case, you consider popcorn is a 4-letter word at the pool then, because like I said, the last thing we want to do is make things more difficult for you guys. I mean,
yeah, well, I'm just looking out for our maintenance and stuff. And, it's not a personal thing. I don't eat popcorn, but I don't care if people do. But like I said, it can be havoc on the pool. So, and inevitably somehow it ends up in the pool. So the kernels.
funny how things end up in all kinds of crazy places.
Right. Well, guys, I think unless David has other stuff that he wants to add, I think this has been a very productive meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm gonna run everything by the mayor. Going to, make sure that we're all on the same page. But I would say that we have accomplished exactly what we were after, and
Get
we're
out of
gonna
here.
have some awesome.
I know it's hard to have a serious meeting and listen to David and then watch that dog lick your face.
I know. I'm sorry. Izzy's a trip.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all I've got, guys. This has all been recorded. It's going to be uploaded to Her Honor, the mayor, and unless we got something else, guys, I think that's about it. We're going to have some good stuff this year.
Yeah. Let me know. You got my email and contact stuff. Let me know if you guys need anything, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, just shoot myself and the mayor. Well, I guess the mayor predominantly, shoot somebody an email about the stuff that this new group or this new supplier affords, and then we'll see what we can do about it. I mean, I don't expect we'll have any issues.
Yeah, I'll do a little digging and get you guys some more information. So
Perfect. In that case, guys, I appreciate your time. I hope we didn't take away too much of it.
Oh, thank you, David. That was a very productive, organized meeting.
Well, I'm trying to behave like a responsible public servant. So, there's a little bit less yelling than in other meetings
Well,
with
good.
other members present.
well, I deal a lot with townships, and that was very nice. So
Well, all right, guys, I will talk to you later. I look forward to these informations, and I wish you have a wonderful remainder of your day. So
You guys
with that,
too.
I will close out the meeting. So have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
all right, see you guys. Thank you.